Hello, everyone, and welcome to Draft Dreams, an Inside the Birds presentation profiling small school NFL draft prospects chasing their big dreams. I'm your host, Andrew DiCecco from InsideTheBirds.com, and with us today is Jeffrey Gunter, a 6'4", 260-pound prospect from Coastal Carolina. Jeff, I really appreciate you making some time. How's everything going, man?
I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, you've had a lot of twists and turns over your 5 years. So why don't we rewind back to the beginning of your draft journey?
Yeah.
You're from North Carolina. You had offers from NC State and Coastal Carolina. What led to you choosing Coastal Carolina to begin with?
They were my first D1 offer. And, they were the first one to give me an opportunity. My entire senior year, I only had FCS, and a little bit before I shipped off, they called me and asked me if I wanted to come in, and I stepped on campus, and it felt like home. So there I went, man.
You know, you were first team All Sun Belt as a sophomore.
Yeah.
Then you want to you opt to transfer to Syracuse, but then you end up decommitting.
Mm-hmm.
What was it about Coastal Carolina that made you want to leave, and why did you reconsider Syracuse?
So the only reason that I committed to Syracuse originally was because NC State didn't have a scholarship for me at the time. My plan was to go to NC State right out of the portal, but there was some wonky stuff going on with the paperwork and the filing for the number of players. So I ended up committing to Syracuse for about a week. But once NC State, got my waiver cleared, it was pretty simple. But at the time, man, it was just I had a lot going on with my family. And, I love Coastal. I've always loved Coastal, but my mom was going through a lot, and she thought it would be easier if I could come home and help her. Because NC State is like 5 minutes from my mom's house.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say no to that.
Yeah, so when they gave me an opportunity, I love Coastal, but it was just a lot going on at home, so I felt like I was needed at home,
So instead of Syracuse, you go to NC State, and you outlined why, but obviously due to the transfer rule, you couldn't play. How, as a competitor, Jeff, how hard was it sitting out the season?
Oh yeah, it was like the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. I thought initially when I was transferring there in the whole process, I was like, oh, a year's not that bad. But quickly after 2 weeks of the season, I was like, yeah, this shit's getting old. But I mean, I learned a lot. I was around some great guys like James Smith-Williams. He's in the league right now, and Laurel Burgesson, he's in the league right now as well. And I was able to learn from both of them. So the year really helped me out as far as strength and conditioning, mental fortitude, and football IQ. And I learned a lot from NC State. So I don't think it was a waste of time, but I do wish I would have been able to play.
Yeah, I can only imagine, man. And it's just one of those things that I find really interesting in your career journey, because you were, you got practice squad player of the year. Now, I think I was wondering if you could expand on that, maybe talk about what your approach to practice is and really how your day-to-day went, in that year at NC State.
My approach to practice was like today's my game day. I didn't get to put the pads on Saturday that year. So every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, it's like I gotta do my thing,
Yeah.
I just took every day like it was my last day playing ball, and I had a great time, and the coach took notice, and I was able to win an award, and it meant a lot to me. Like that Practice Player of the Year award means just as much as my all conference, my bowl rings. I love that trophy, man, because it shows I didn't quit. I didn't take a year off. I was busting my ass. So I think that says a lot about me.
Yeah. Well, I think it's important to share that, because I think it's really a good stepping stone in your career. And it really shows the work ethic that you really had to put in to get to where you're at right now. Now, you needed a special waiver in order to play immediately at Coastal Carolina. What was that process like?
I've never been in court before, but I'm assuming that's kind of what it's like. You're just waiting on a verdict,
Yeah.
Based on my case and based on the things that were going on at the time, I pretty much knew that I was going to get it before I did it. But still, man, it was like I don't want to sit out another year. It was tough. But once I got it, it was like a huge weight was lifted off my shoulders. You know what I'm saying? So it was nerve wracking at the time, but it ended well.
So you go back to Coastal Carolina, a place that you once said was like the family you were always looking for. What was that transfer process like for you, and what was it like going back?
So like the crazy thing is like Coastal, like, technically not the coaches, but one of my good friends, his name is Teron Jackson. He's one of my
Yeah,
best.
sure.
Me and him play. Yeah, he plays with the Eagles. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Teron, he called me one day and was like, "Hey, if you want to come back, you can." And that's what really sparked the whole thing. So shout out to Teron for getting me back, and everybody opened me back with open arms. And they didn't start me right away. I still had to earn my spot back, but everything happened the way it's supposed to happen, and I wouldn't trade my last 2 years at Coastal for anything.
What did you learn about yourself in those first 3 years?
Um, the first 3 years taught me it really showed me how much I love football because I was moving back and forth, couldn't play for a year, but it also taught me that I value like a family and relationships more than the glitz and the glam. You know what I'm saying? NC State was more funded, but I'll never be able to replace the relationships that I have here at Coastal. Like with Teron, he's my brother. CJ Brewer, he's my brother. I'm gonna call
Yeah.
both of them when I'm 55 and just talk about my day. You know what I'm saying? So I think I just value the family that I made at Coastal, and I'm glad I was able to get it back.
Well, we follow each other on Twitter, and I've been really big on Coastal Carolina for a few years now, and I really knew that you guys were building something special. And I knew that when Teron got drafted by the Eagles, I tweeted out, I said, Philly's really going to love Teron Jackson. So
Yeah,
he's off to a good start, man, contributing as a rookie.
yeah, I'm proud of my boy, man. Philly's treating him well. He likes it there, and I'm hoping he'll be there for a long time. Hopefully, I can join him.
Yeah, yeah. And what's interesting about your position is that you played the bandit position. So what does that role mean on that particular defense, and what were some of your responsibilities?
Oh, so I'm basically like a jack of all trades. Like I get in where I fit in. So one play I could be, setting the edge. The next play I could be pass rushing, and then the play after that I could be in coverage on a tight end. I do everything, man. Whatever the defense needs me to do, I fill that role. I'm on the backside of everything. I'm basically a defensive end, outside linebacker hybrid. So anything the defense needs, man, that's what I get done.
Now, as a redshirt junior, you led the nation in forced fumbles.
Sure.
Is there an art to that? Guys like Charles
Yeah.
Peanut Tillman made a career out of that. I have to imagine there's an art to that skill.
Yeah, it's something you got to work every day. I think in my last 2 years I had 9, like in total.
Wow.
It's just like it's something you consciously think about. Like when you're going to the quarterback, the ball is only in a couple places. You know what I'm saying? So a sack is a big play, but if I can get a fumble out of it, a turnover too, that's huge, and that changes games. So that's what I try to do.
Also that year, a brawl ensued when you hit quarterback Zach Wilson, who of course is now with the New York Jets. You also won Defensive Player of the Week that particular week. Was that one of the most wildest games that you've been a part of? And was there any blowback from that? Because I seem to remember there being a very eventful week for you in social media. I shouldn't say week, probably weeks.
Oh yeah, it's still going on. Every time I post anything, there's a BYU fan there. But yeah, I mean, as far as let's just think about that whole week. That whole week, we're on college game day. We have to switch opponents to one of the best quarterbacks in the country at the time. So like, it's a lot of emotions going around, and it's the biggest game I've ever played in. Period. Like it was a COVID game, so we were only allowing like 5,000 people in the stands. I swear to you, I've never heard a louder crowd in my life. But as far as like that play and everything, like there was no ill intent behind it, bro. It's just
No.
things got out of hand. You know what I'm saying? It's football, and like BYU, their entire fan base crucified me. Like they're still doing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I open my DMs right now, there's probably a BYU fan in there. But
Man.
I never took it serious. You know what I'm saying? It's all fun and games at the end of the day. And Zach Wilson's a great player. He's probably the best player I've ever played against in college. And I'll remember that game for the rest of my life because not only did I win Defensive Player of the Week, but I had one of my best games, like impact-wise, that week as well. So, I was just excited to play on TV and to get to show everybody I could play, man. That game was like a dream.
Oh, I remember that week, and people were hitting me up. They're saying, "You think BYU or Coastal?" I said, "Coastal's going to win this game." You guys were building something special, and that was one of the. You can hear the electricity of the crowd through the TV, man. It was definitely a big moment.
Yeah, bro. You've been rocking with us for a while. Coastal owes you something. We need to give you like a jersey or something. But
yeah, I've been trying to put people onto the program, man, because like I said, you guys have a lot of NFL talent, and I was trying to put people onto it.
yeah, man, I appreciate that, man. We do have a lot of guys that can help an NFL team, and I'm hopefully we all make it, man. That'd be dope.
What is 12 sacks and 8 forced fumbles in your last 2 seasons? What does that mean to you in regards to your pro potential?
Man, I just hope it. I hope it shows that I can play. My entire life, man, I've been over. In my opinion, I feel like I've been overlooked. In high school, I didn't have that many offers. I was a late bloomer. And like a lot of media attention didn't get to me. Because I go to such a small school. But I feel like hopefully my stat line proves that I can play and that I'm one of the best defensive players in the country. And that's all I've been trying to get across to people.
You're a long, lean edge rusher, Jeff.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that you model your game after, or is there anyone that you're influenced by?
Yeah, anybody that just has a lot of versatility. So guys like Matthew Judon, Yannick Ngakoue, TJ Watt, guys like that. I try to build my game off, people like that just because they're so great at what they do. And, it'd be pretty dope to learn from them, man, because they definitely have big influences on my game.
As a small school prospect, how important was it to you to get the invite to the NFL scouting combine?
Man, I remember I was playing a game at the time. I was on Warzone, and I got the email, and I was like, this has to be fake. There's no way. But I read it, man, and it was real, bro. I've been watching the combine since I was like 6 years old. Like, no lie. Like, when I was a kid, I watched NFL Network. I didn't really watch cartoons, And I remember seeing dudes like running a 40, and like I remember watching Calvin Johnson's live. Like, you know what I'm saying? So just having the opportunity to be there and to show what I can do and just soak in the moment, it's like a dream come true, man. And I'll never forget it.
Now, if you could paint the picture for the listeners, because I myself would like to know what the experience was like for you, because there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes than just the workouts that everybody sees on TV. There's a lot of the medical stuff and the poking and prodding. So, what was it like for you, man?
So let me put it in terms. So like I got off the plane and the first person I saw was an NFL scout. Like the first person, they're taking you from the plane to the bus, and like that's like somebody that has like an influence on your future. You know what I'm saying? So like, you're nervous, your heart's pumping, and then you get to the hotel, and the hotel is filled with nothing but NFL scouts. So now it's like like you're walking on eggshells, you know what I'm saying? And it's such a huge event. And they take you to do testing. You're doing medical testing for like 4 hours the first day. And then you got like x-rays and stuff the next day. And you're meeting with NFL teams in between. And you're just ripping and running. And it's long days and, short sleep times. But, it's everything you dream of as a football player. It's like football heaven because you're getting the opportunity to prove yourself in the biggest form and on the biggest stage. And, I loved it, bro. I did pretty well at the combine too, so man, I had a great time.
Yeah, man. Like, did you have any particular goals going into it, and where were you training for it?
Oh, okay, so I was down there in Exos, Pensacola. Shout out to my boys down there. They're cool. But yeah, I was down there in Florida, and as far as I didn't have necessarily like number goals, but I just really wanted to show that I'm one of the better athletes in the draft. You know what I'm saying? That I'm an all-around athlete. I can change direction and I'm fast. You know what I'm saying? I feel like one of the knocks on me is that I didn't have good, straight line speed. So I feel like, with my splits and my 40 time, I feel like I proved everybody that I can run,
Absolutely, man. Did Tehran help you get prepared for that? So you didn't kind of go into the whole thing blind?
So he was a part of the COVID year. So he didn't get to actually work out or anything.
Right.
He told me a lot about the combine and just like all the pressures that I have to deal with. I called him like every week before the combine. So, he helped me out a lot. He's been my big brother through the whole thing.
What would you say, I guess, how many teams would you say that you met with during that week?
I met with a lot of them, man. It's like a whirlwind, they're pulling you and grabbing you each way. So I can't say the total number of teams, but I met with a lot of them.
Did you have any contact with Philly? And maybe you might be reunited with Tehran.
Yeah, I did talk to one of the defensive coaches. He talked to me for a long time. We actually talked about Tehran for a while too. So I mean, hopefully I can get back to being with my boy and wearing that green jersey. But I'll be thankful for any opportunity I get.
Were you asked any weird questions, or were you asked to shoot hoops like Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni had some of the prospects doing at the combine?
I did not shoot hoops, but I think my weirdest question was, if you were a fruit, what fruit would you be?
Oh wow, that's different. What was your answer?
I just said an orange because that's what I didn't know exactly what to say, but that's my weirdest question.
Jeff, what do you like to do when you're not playing football?
Oh man, I'm a big movie guy. I love movies. I love reading books, and I watch anime a lot too. I don't know if you know what that is, but I'm a huge anime nerd.
What kind of movies are you into? Comedy, action?
Yeah, comedies. I like to laugh, man. So anytime I can get a good comedy, I'm happy.
Any recommendations, man? I'm always going through Netflix and I can't seem to find anything because there's too many options.
I think one of my favorite movies is Friday. I don't know if you know what
Oh,
that is.
I love Friday. That's a
Okay.
classic, man. All of them.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies. But right now I've been on my anime wave, man. So I can't give you any good recommendations.
All right. Yeah, I'm a Friday. I love Friday After Next, man. Cat Williams.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's a great movie.
Obviously, you played with Teron Jackson, and has he sort of given you any insight to what the next handful of weeks were going to be for you? Because everything starts to obviously ramp up now with the draft being just a month away.
Oh, it's a month away. I didn't. Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, man.
It doesn't feel real. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I've just been working out with him. Both of us down here at Coastal right now. So I've been working out with him pretty much every day, and he's been teaching me a little tricks of the trade that y'all taught him. So if I do get to Philly, I'll be feeling at home because you're teaching me everything.
Yeah, and we got plenty of good cheesesteak spots out here too, man.
I love a good cheesesteak, man. I can't wait to try one.
What NFL team did you grow up rooting for?
You're not gonna like this one, but I was a Giants fan growing up.
Oh, okay. NFC East though.
Yeah. But my favorite player growing up was Michael Strahan. Just because he was a monster at defensive end, you know. I think he broke the sack record that one year. Ever since then, I was hooked. But he was my favorite player, so then I became a Giants fan.
Jeff, have you given any thought to what it's going to be like for you hearing your name called on draft weekend?
Um, I just feel like a lot of hard work paid off. You know, like I've been grinding for this since I was 8 years old. You know, it's just to hear my name called, it'll be a surreal feeling. My mom and my family's gonna be there, so they'll be able to experience it with me. But just knowing I'll be able to do what I love and I accomplished my dream. You know what I'm saying? I think that'll be the biggest thing for me. I did something that I've been working my whole life to do, and it's gonna be a good day, great day.
Well, that's going to do it. Great stuff from Jeff. I can't thank you enough for spending some time with us today and taking some time out of your busy schedule. And we wish you all the best in your future. And, for Jeff Gunter, I'm Andrew DiCecco. You've been watching Draft Dreams on Inside the Birds. Have a great week, everyone.
Sir, thank you for having me.